Widely ho, and welcome to Happy and Sports. I'm Scott, but you know that already. Today, we're going to do the continuation of the blacksmith skills, and we're going to be doing upsetting. I hope everybody brought their tissues because we're going to be upsetting some steel today. And unfortunately, just calling it cheap Russian steel doesn't work. So to cut things sweet, and because I know you don't want to be looking at me, you want to be watching steel getting the beat on. Let's move ahead, and don't forget to stay towards the end, and I'll give you the Hadrian's Forge tip for the beginning blacksmith, and tell me what you're thinking and what you want to see, and let's go over to the forge and get to work. See you there. Okay, here we are standing at the anvil, and this piece here, this lucky piece of rebar, is going to be the first demonstration, and it will end up being a fuller tool. I'm going to take about this much of the end and squish it down to about there, and then I'm going to shape it. But the most important part is that I'll be making it wider all the way around, and I'll use a cross peen to just move it sideways and without moving it back out forward. Anyway, let's go ahead and get that started. As you can see, obviously as I smack on it, it wants to lean over, and so and this is one of those processes where you have to be very, very up and keep your cleaning. Right now, half of it is cleaning and half of it is working, and that's just the way sometimes it goes. So let me go ahead and heat this back up, clean it up, and get back to smashing it. And that's, as you can see, it's still off kilter to one side. That's why things don't get, because they're not kept in line from the word go. Like I said, this is just, I need to put it in, and it'll straighten it up, and I think we'll be ready to stretch it out. here in a second, we'll take this one over to the grinder, and we'll finish it up and turn it into a working tool. Next, we're going to try upsetting it in the middle, and I hope you all brought your tissues because it's a upsetting time. Anyway, set this aside. Anyway, I keep forgetting to turn the camera on, and I've been doing work on it. I've flattened it out. I need to do a little more flattening on it because the edges aren't quite there. And then work on rounding it. And I think basically working on the rounding will pull my edges in because it's basically just these two corners, one right there and one right there. So let's go ahead and get making some spokes. Alright, well it's getting about too hot to touch. It's holding a moment, so I need to let it cool off. I'll take you over, and when we're done, I'll show you, and we'll do wrap up. Be right back. Well, I don't know about you, but I thought that was a pretty damn cool spoke show. Anyway, here's the piece. Now I flattened it too much, so instead of it being the 1/4 inch that I was expecting, it's now a little over 1/8 of an inch, but it still has plenty of uses, and I can think of lots of them. It's just one tool that I won't have to make in the future, but I will need to do one in the 1/4 inch size, but it'll look exactly like this. And maybe I'll shorten them up a little bit more because they are going to be handled. Anyway, and as for the blacksmithing tip of the day is that when you're starting out, don't worry about using cheap steel or bad steel for your tools. If you're supposed to start out and you make a fuller and you have to dress it after every time you use it, that's good practice for you. I mean, it's a bummer having to continually do it, but facing, sharpening, and dressing tools is something that we have to live with, and every new tool has to be done. Get the practice out of the way as you're starting out on working on cheap stuff. I mean, obviously, this is just a piece of recycled rebar. So yeah, absolutely, and don't hesitate to experiment. Anyway, I will see you next time, and don't forget, you're all wonderful people. Till then.